afraid of the anger of their parents. And so when they see their parents applying it, it scares them so that they may be seething underneath the surface, not willing to make it known or make it seen or actively, openly rebel. But they may very well be afraid of their parent. The same thing, a pastor may crush a person publicly and do that in order to control people so that no contrary opinions will be expressed. And that kind of thing is ungodly, it's unbiblical, but it happens, and it happens quite often. And fear is then used as a tool. All right, the opposite of fear is confidence. So confidence we can define as the expectation associated with a mental picture of the nearness of what keeps us safe, and the absence or remoteness of what is terrible. Okay? So, expectation associated with a mental picture of the nearness of what keeps us safe, and the absence or remoteness of what keeps us, of what is terrible. Okay, so compare the two. Fear is a mental picture also of some destructive or painful evil in the future. So a mental picture of what could happen to you that's bad. Confidence is a mental picture of the nearness of what keeps me safe. All right, so that's why, guys, when you're carrying a gun, if you've ever carried a gun, you feel a sense of invincibility in that. That's why it's a big responsibility to carry a gun, but it's also why it's a good thing to carry a gun. Because there is a sense of confidence that it gives you. I'd say this, that weightlifting, working out, also increases confidence because you feel capable of handling things that come your way, dangerous things that may come your way. Also, that's why a parent, and that's why I say this, that parents ought not to use anger to discipline their children or to control their children. Now, that's not to say that parents won't ever get angry at their children. And it's not to say, and I'm not one who says that you should never discipline your children when you're angry. Sometimes that's really tough to make like a hard and fast rule there. But there's a difference between being angry when you discipline and disciplining with anger. I hope you can conceive of the difference there, because anger becomes the discipline. Anger becomes the way that you control your children. And that's dangerous, because then your children don't feel safe when they're in your presence. And a good parent wants their children to feel confident in their presence, so that when I am there, they don't feel judged, they don't feel condemned, they don't feel... Now, that's not to say that I don't judge them, but they know that the judgments coming from me are for their good in order to build them. That doesn't mean they're not nervous around. There's a sense of awe and authority, period. But as a husband and as a father, I want to give my children a sense of confidence. When they think of me, I want them to think of what keeps them safe. All right? I think that that's why our confidence also is in the Lord, because He makes us feel safe. He gives us a sense of security that results in confidence. And that when I'm with Him, what does the Bible say? If God is for us, what can man do to me? And when I am mindful of God and His protection, that I'm in His hand, then I am remembering that what can hurt me is at a distance. Okay? So, we feel confident then if we believe that we have often succeeded and never suffered reverses, or we have often met danger and escaped it safely. Okay, so that's why doing certain things over and over and over, like public speaking, the more you do it, the more confident you become in it. so if you were a sailor, the first time you go out on the ship, you're in the middle of the ocean, you can't see land anywhere, a big storm comes, giant waves over your head, and you are terrified, okay? But the seasoned sailors are not, all right? So then after a while, you learn that if they're not afraid, I don't need to be afraid. Then you see a storm coming and you see them afraid, then you're afraid, okay? So that's how confidence works. We build confidence by doing things, by meeting danger and escaping it safely, and so on. Then we think that we can continue. So then who do we feel confidence toward? We feel confident with ourselves if we can take steps to cure or prevent trouble, or if we have neither wronged or been wronged by others. Okay, so that's why if the principal is calling you to his office, you might feel afraid, okay? But maybe you've been called to his office fairly regularly and you've never been in trouble and you've not been doing anything. You know, you've been a straight up student, working hard and so on, and he's calling you to his office again. You're thinking, you know, there's small chance I'm in trouble, but probably not. You feel confidence. So there you go. All right, we'll come back to these.